President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday launched the Nigeria Agenda 2050 in Abuja, declaring that its implementation would ensure that Nigeria attains a per capita GDP of $33,328 per annum to place her among the top middle-income economies globally by 2050. Buhari stated that the plan would also increase real GDP growth by 7%, create 165 million new jobs, and reduce the number of Nigerians living in poverty to 2.1 million in 2050 from the 83 million estimated in 2020. The launch commenced shortly before this week's Federal Executive Council meeting held at the council chambers of the Presidential Villa, Abuja. President Muhammadu Buhari's request to restructure the 22.7 trillion naira loans that the Central Bank of Nigeria advanced to the federal government under its Ways and Means policy has been granted approval by the Senate. The Ways and Means provision enables the federal government to borrow from the Central Bank of Nigeria if it needs short-term or emergency finance to fund delayed government-expected cash receipts of fiscal deficits. The federal government disclosed that it sought the loans when the country started experiencing a significant shortfall in revenue. It said it relied heavily on the central bank to finance its expenditure programs via the Ways and Means, whose balance as of December 19, 2022 stood at 22.7 trillion naira. The federal government had said it would repay the loan with securities such as treasury bills and bond issuance. President Buhari had in 2022 requested the Senate to approve his proposal to securitize the loan, but the lawmakers rejected the request, citing a lack of details. However, the president appealed to the Senate to reconsider its stand, as the failure to grant a securitization approval will, however, cost the government about 1.8 trillion naira in additional interest in 2023. Kristalina Georgieva, the managing director of the International Monetary Fund, has cautioned about the unforeseeable consequences that the retail central bank digital currencies may cause. Georgieva noted that the IMF considers retail CBDCs to have far more room for error than wholesale CBDCs, and that the organization was collaborating with about 50 countries to ensure best practices are adopted, which she expects to have a huge influence on banks and economies in the future. The Minister of State, Budget and National Planning, Claire Magba, disclosed during the sensitization workshop of the use of geospatial data for development planning and decision-making in Abuja that the federal government plans to include an allocation for geospatial data in the budgets of government agencies. According to the minister, the federal government has made a provision for monitoring and evaluation of projects in the country, further noting that this will be replicated for geospatial information system.